Alright guys, welcome back to episode 12 of the Mountain America Event Center, or Mountain America Event Series, the Idaho Falls Auditorium Series with Construction Business TV Idaho. My name's Tyson, I'm your video journalist for CBTV Idaho. We're on a landmark moment today, a big groundbreaking moment. What are we here to see today?
Well, Tyson, thank you. We're here to see the pouring of the ice rink floor, and as we've talked earlier about, this is one of the, in my opinion, the fourth significant milestone of this project. Obviously the first groundbreaking, and then having the tilt-up walls in place, and then the roof structure. But today, what today means is getting this ice rink poured assures us of a late November opening. And so as we move forward here today, we're very excited to have a very special guest with us. We have the actual chair of the Idaho Falls Auditorium District, Terry Gazdick. Terry, you've been involved in this project for a long time, and because of your leadership, this is why we're here today. So tell us a little bit about what this means to you.
Thank you, Rob. Well, for me, this is a huge accomplishment for the community, and I'm thrilled that I could stick with it this long and get us to this point. But it's been a team of excellent partners that have gotten us to this point, and just the community rallying around and supporting us through the process. But for me, it is a dream come true. This is exciting.
I'm going to point one question in particular toward Malone. You're probably the most qualified to answer it. If you'll walk us through kind of what we're seeing today, the process that they're doing with the laying down of the ice rink.
So behind us here, like Tyson was saying, we are in the process of pouring the ice slab. It is quite a process. So it's been going on for almost 6 weeks, just getting to this point. And the first base layers that they had to come through and do some hot water lines underneath to help with the permafrosting and the frost heaving of the concrete when you start building the ice on there. So once those lines got down, they came in. I call it moon dust, but it's just sand. It just kind of really fancy sand. They laid on top of that. Then they did 2 layers of rigid foam insulation. And they started doing all their, they call it their seats, but they did all their chilled water lines that had to be 3 inches on center. And that took them quite a process to get them 3 inches on center all the way around the 1,700 square foot space. So with that, they had to test it, make sure there's no leaks, rebar it. Then they had to do all the inserts for all the various activities. Like one of them, there is circus inserts in this concrete slab, so they can do a circus in here. And also they have to do all the hockey post goal inserts and the dashboard inserts. So there's over 100 inserts or more within this slab that had to be measured, set in place prior to. So 6 weeks was quite a, not a crunch time, but it was a very important time to meet these time frame, to meet this pour date. So now in the background, they're pouring it, they're raking it, they have to screed it. So they got a power screeder back there that they're making sure everything's all level. And the next couple steps after doing this, they got to come back and finish it and make it that kind of a, not polished, but they want to make it pretty smooth and make sure there's still some roughness on there so the ice attaches to it. So it's quite a long day for these gentlemen. A lot of them started at 3 o'clock this morning, and they'll be going all the way until late this afternoon to get this slab done.
So Tyson, if you don't mind, I do have a question. As the viewers met Eric Hudson last episode, Eric's the general manager of this facility. He's doing a wonderful job bringing multiple events in here, but very fortunate to have his expertise as an ex-hockey player. And so Eric, I know this isn't your first rodeo as far as a hockey pour goes, but tell us how impressed you've been with ice builders in the process.
Yeah, I think this is actually, I was counting this morning, my 4th ice slab pour, and each one is unique in its own right. But you know, working with ice builders, their attention to detail, Rob, has been just second to none. And you know, coming in here probably three or 4 times a week, and thanks Malone for your hospitality. You know, just seeing the process and how finite the details they are is very impressive. And kudos to Bateman-Hall for selecting them as our slab contractor.
We started this at, what, 3-4 in the morning is where you started. We're sitting at almost 8 o'clock, and it looks like we're about halfway through. We're probably going to be all the way through, I imagine, by noon, would you say?
Probably with the pouring of the concrete by noon.
Yeah.
So, but then they have to finish it and make sure everything's good. So that's going to be another 3 to 4 hours, if not longer. But also part of that process, we have to start a 28-day cure time on this concrete to make sure it's solidified and solid before we can do any additional work on there. And during that 28 days, we also have a 14-day wet cure time. So the best way to describe what I was talking to ice builders, like, yeah, we got to put giant diapers that will keep the water and moisture on there. So they have to roll out this white mat. So it's kind of the best thing, material similar to a diaper that'll hold the moisture and keep it wet. So it cures for the first 14 days with the wet cure.
So, and I talked to Rob earlier, and he mentioned that this is the 4th big landmark moment on the construction of the Mountain America Center. What can we look forward to after this process has been finished?
Well, there's quite a few, but one of the biggest ones that we'll have is probably getting the bowl seating in. It's one of our great milestones where that's going to really change the atmosphere of this arena again. Then part of that will also be the acoustical baffle system that has to go up above all the structural grid system for the rigging and everything that will actually create this atmosphere for the sound quality and all that as well. Well, one of the biggest one we're all looking forward to is probably the turnover date that will turn over to Idaho Falls Auditorium District.
Very cool. And I think we probably touched a little bit about this a little in the last episode, but for the people who maybe missed the last episode, there's a playlist on YouTube if you did. So you got an ice rink, but this is obviously going to serve a bigger purpose, this event center, as more than just hockey. There's going to be a general admission floor for concerts and things like that. What's the mechanism of moving back and forth between having an ice rink and having a general admission floor where people can walk?
So the ice floor will stay in 9 months out of the year. We have a insulated ice decking that we will put over the floor. That way the cool stays below the insulated floor, but also the patrons on top will get the access to the the room temperature, comfortable temperature. In the off season, we will take the ice out. That's about a 5-day process, and we'll use skid loaders to chunk the ice out. Then we'll slowly bring the temperature back up on the floor to room temperature, and then we'll cycle the plant probably once or twice a month to ensure that our pumps and our chillers and all of our cooling units are running properly. But really, this floor allows us to put over 2,000 people down there for a concert, and it just expands our diversity when it comes to the amount of shows and the size of the shows that we can have for this facility.
I know that, and I was talking to somebody, I forget who, I was talking to somebody a little bit earlier today. We were commenting on the rafters up on the ceiling and what kind of opportunities that's going to allow for more immersive, interactive live performances.
Yeah.
When they first started putting these up, the first thing that I thought in my head was they're going to bring Metallica here because they do a big thing where they hang all the stuff off the ceiling. So here's to hoping we see them here.
Yeah. Well, that grid on the ceiling is pretty impressive, especially for a venue of this size. That grid can hang up to 200,000 pounds on it, and that's a lot of production equipment. Which, given the region that we live in, a lot of these artists, they like to go fishing. They like Yellowstone National Park. We've got some great lodging, hospitality regions around here, so it wouldn't surprise me if we got an A-list artist in here several times a year because of the region and because of the amenities the Mountain America Center has.
Continue to follow us as we continue on with this process. As Malone said, there's some significant milestones coming our way, and we're going to keep you informed. And obviously, as we get closer to announcing events, we're going to certainly have Eric, and he's going to be able to brief you on the number of events that are coming to Mountain America Center.
And that's episode 12 of the Idaho Falls Auditorium series on Construction Business TV Idaho. I'm Tyson. I'm your video journalist for CBTV Idaho. I want to thank you guys again so much for your time, your support, your subscriptions. We recently, about a week ago, or 2 weeks, we passed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for your support. We hope to continue providing these updates for the Mountain America Center, as well as several construction projects throughout the East Idaho area. Thank you guys again. You drive safe. So we're putting the world's largest diaper down on the floor here.
Yes, we are. And hopefully there's no skid marks.
If I had a question, it was gone after that one.